The first poem is a response to people who might not understand the rituals of Muharram. And I'm going to respond to them by comparing it to something that we all understand, which is the salah, the daily salat. They ask me, what is Muharram? I tell them it's a vision. They say, what are you wearing? I tell them my ammunition. They ask why I'm sad. To understand their sadness is my ambition. They say, why aren't you laughing? I say, from the world, this is my partition. They ask about the black clothes. I tell them, is there any prohibition? They say, why do you cry? I tell them, you won't understand. It's only through his permission. They say, why is the mood serious? I tell them, this was Hussein's condition. And they say, who is Hussein? They say, who is Hussein? I tell them, I pity from him your division. They say, why the hype? I say, this is our religion. They ask, why the emphasis? I tell them, we have a mission. They say, but isn't it a bit excessive? In our mourning, there's no exaggeration. They ask about the man sitting higher than the rest. His honor is that he recites a martyr's lamentation. They ask about the lights and why they're switched off. The response is simple. We're using our heart's vision. What about the tune when he narrates the tragedy? Isn't it like the melody during a du'a's recitation? They complain about the wails that we make when crying, just like Sukaina's cries were stopped by the opposition. They ask about the chests that are red and bruised and question our traditions with a subtle objection. They question the hand as it hits the chest and ask, what's the need for this kind of action? Look no further than Habib. When came to him the salam of Zainab the patient, what was his reaction? How red do you think his face turned? Do you think it was normal, his expression? What about Abis? How bruised was his chest when he'd claim insanity and rip off his protection? Do you remember Burayr when he stood in front of Hussein, a chest full of arrows? Yet this is innovation. They ask about the chants when we say Ya Hussein. Even with the most beautiful names, they have a problem. They ask about the chants when we say Ya Hussein. Even with the most beautiful names, they have a problem. Ya Zainab, Ya Abbas. Why don't you just call Allah? My dear brother, you haven't understood intercession. They say, but isn't salat the best of deeds? And the reply, what a beautiful question. When you twist open the tap and collect water in your hands, don't you remember Abbas at Furat and his decision when you wash your hands with cold and clear water? Don't you recall Sajjad's tears when water he'd be given? When you splash it on your face and wipe down as you've been told, Hussein wiping blood on his face. Don't you envision when you wash your right hand followed by your left? When you wash your right arm followed by your left, a flag bearer's severed arms should encompass your attention, and wiping your head should remind you of his when the pole that was struck on it was mentioned. With excess water on your palms, you bow to your feet, and even to tie a shoelace, Qasim was forbidden. You stand for qiyam, still and upright, just like stood beside him every companion. You stand for qiyam, you stand still and upright, just like stood beside him every companion. Then you go into ruku', offering your neck to God. You're just another soldier in Hussein's battalion. Doesn't your forehead on the floor remind you of them all? For the sand that covered their face, may I be ransomed. So to answer your question, could there be a sign more clear? Even in salat's best act, even in prostration, your head must touch the dust that soaked up his spilled blood. Your head must touch the dust that soaked up his spilled blood. What's better, this or that? There's no comparison. If you neglect prayer, you're not a Husseini. But if you leave Hussein, you have no religion. The best of deeds is the one done solely for Allah. The best of deeds is the one done solely for Allah. It's salat if it becomes for a believer an ascension. It's saving a life when you find someone in danger. And it's mourning Hussein with a pure intention. This may all raise eyebrows and invite suspicion. They may ask, what is your goal? I'll reply with an admission. My goal isn't to convert you, nor is it to attain heaven. I don't aim to make people happy. Making friends is not my intention. I'll keep crying and I'll keep mourning, and I don't desire your affection. I'll let you keep calling me insane. Matters not to me your decision. And if you keep saying I'm wrong, from you I'll form a division. And I don't care who you are. If you mess with this emotion, for Hussein will always come first, and all others require his intercession. And that's my goal and my aim, so that when he enters heaven, I'm not separated from him once again like I am in this transition. Oh Hussein, I don't deserve it. Oh Hussein, I don't deserve it. But don't deny me your recognition.